evening, Bradley. You want to know how I got these scars? No, I'm just kidding, guys.
What's going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Real Hunting, where we hunt for the good and all the real so you don't have to. Today is not going to be a challenge, though. But today we're going to be talking about The Dark Knight in the next video of What's Awesome About the Batman series. Last week we did Batman Begins. Now we're Dark Knight, freaking one of the best comic book movies of all the time. So really excited to talk about this one, Brett, man. Obviously, the new Batman movie's coming out here in just a couple weeks. So we're going to be excited to talk about that when it comes out. So stick around if you want to hear us talk about how awesome that movie is. Brett, man, I'm excited about today, my friend.
Easily one of my favorite, not just Batman movies, but movies of all time. Even with the Batman Begins, I joined that conversation too. But this one was the real one that got me to be a true Batman fan that I am today. So I am so excited to talk about it. If you want to catch our other Batman of What's Awesome About videos playlist, right above my head right there. So without further ado, let's talk about what is a lot of people do consider one of the greatest comic book movies of all time.
Right off the gate, man, I love the way this connects to Batman Begins. It's such a good feeling to have a trilogy in place where each movie is building upon the movie before it, and that's what this movie does very well. You feel the effects of the last movie, the escalation of what the events that took place in the first movie, and now we have the Joker rising up. All that stuff's great, man. All that stuff's really good,
dude. That opening, one of the greatest openings to a comic book movie of all time, because we instantly got to know what this Joker is right before he even popped up on screen. Because that is one of my favorite things I love in cinema, is we get to know a character by kind of like some dialogue or a speech right before we are introduced to a character, kind of like Hannibal Lecter. Like that speech before that. So, and the Joker here, freaking done awesomely. And we also get to see kind of like how like just sick and genius that the Joker is too, which like the henchman gets done with a particular job. The henchman takes that one out, like just reducing it all, like that, all that's just so awesome. Yeah. And just like, it's just great, man. It's like, what I believe that what this Achilles just makes you simply stranger. Like it's just yeah, man. Like, I'm gonna get to all like Heath Ledger and the Joker just like its own separate topic, because I could talk about him for literally for hours of how amazing he is. But yeah, just that opening scene, badass.
Yeah, and you get
along with the score too.
Oh, yes. But you get to see so much of his character and everything you really need to know about it in that opening, which is such an amazing introduction to the character of the Joker, because, like you said, he manipulates his whole team to kill each other, and he doesn't even have to do anything except for he kills the bus driver. And it's yeah, this bus, yeah, whatever. But yeah, he does all that, yeah, because he doesn't like, he puts people against each other this whole movie. Like, oh, you got to pick Harvey, you got to pick Maggie Gyllenhaal, or you got to put this boat against this boat. Like, this is what he does, is chaos, right? And we get such a good introduction to that here in the opening scene alone. But yeah, I mean, like you said, man, like the score was fantastic opening up. The score is even better here than Batman Begins. We get like a dog chasing cars added to the track. Absolutely amazing.
The Hans, man. The Hans.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude. It's so good. It's so good, man. It's one of my favorite movie scores of all time. And it gets even better. It continues to build on in the next one.
Oh yeah, exactly. And then kind of like what you say with the Joker too, just creating chaos. The best thing about him causing that chaos, he has no rhyme or reason. He just does do things. Do I really look like a guy with a plan? See, like, again, I can go like all day with it, but let's just build up that anticipation before we get to the Joker, man. But let's go to some of our good character, like our good guy characters in this movie. Of course, freaking Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne, aka the Batman. Like, once again, another strong performance. A little bit more held back this time on the playboyism that we got for the first one. It's kind of like you said in the last video. The Batman Begins was more Bruce Wayne driven than Batman. This one, we're definitely like way into Batman on this one, with still some Bruce Wayne in the background, but we're more towards Batman, more detective work, trying to chase down the Joker, the ultimate game of cat and mouse, which damn, this was such a fun game indeed. So Batman was great in it. Rachel Dawes, played by Maggie Gyllenhaal. I liked her. Like, she did a good job for what she was asked to do, but I easily prefer Katie Holmes more. Just to me, I think her and Christian Bale have a better chemistry within each other. But Gyllenhaal, she did a good job in this, so no major complaint. And then, oh boy, Harvey Dent, which I talked to Chris Snyder a lot about this, but he says that this is one of the most underrated characters in this movie, or the most underrated character. You know what? I absolutely agree with him. I don't think he actually gets talked about enough as the villain, or the second villain, as him being Two-Face or Scary Face Harvey Dent. If y'all see the Bad Man parody videos on it. But yeah, man, Harvey Dent, Two-Face, such a great like development of like Harvey Dent. He's got it all. He's got the girl. He's the DA. All the way, he loses it all. It just becomes a very horrible, terrifying feeling.
And yeah, and before that, he's the true hero of Gotham. You know, he becomes that face of the hero, like you know, and that's what this whole movie is really about is him, you know, being the guy that's actually going to be, you know, puts all the bad guys away. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and
Like,
say what you said about the first video, because or I'm sorry, about Batman Begins, because you said that quote, like the single quote, explains the entire movie. So what is that in this one?
so this one's going to be you either die being the hero or you live long enough to be the villain, and that's what this whole
Mm-hmm.
movie's about, and that's what Harvey's character arc is about. And I think it's done really well. Like, he's really a protagonist of this movie just as much as Bruce is, up until he's not.
Yeah.
But you know, like he really has that rise and fall in this movie, and I think it's great, and it's one of the best parts about the whole trilogy is him and his performance. Aaron Eckhart is probably the best thing I've ever seen him do.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and his kind of fall to the darkness when when you first kind of see it, when he takes the schizophrenia dude in the car, and he's
Mm-hmm.
got the heads or tails coin, and it was heads and heads coin at that point. Like, you
Let's
start to
flip
see him kind of
again.
you start to see him kind of dive into that psyche, you know, that vigilante psyche that, you know, you can see that he's got that deep down within him before he even turns into Two-Face. And then when Maggie dies, Rachel, he just freaking goes off the deep end, man. And I think it's beautifully done. And yeah, it's a very good
Oh,
tragedy
and
story.
just his face, amazing work to it. Way better than Tommy Lee Jones. I don't know what the hell that was about, but again, that's a different style of movie. So I kind of sort of let that go. But like that, like what we got with Two Face, like the look and the appearance, like with the face and kind of like his burnt suit and half and all that, absolutely fantastic look.
And another big part of this movie thematically is duality. You have Bruce versus the Joker, and they're both kind of opposite sides of a coin, no pun intended. But you have Two-Face in the middle. That's actually is Two Faces, you know, two
Ah,
faces, two sides of a coin kind of deal. So he kind of brings that together. You have, you know, the Agent of Chaos and everything on one end with the Joker. The other side, you have freaking Batman and trying to be organized and try to get everything to get like trying to get a plan together and all that stuff, and just trying to maintain order in Gotham. And then in the middle, you have Harvey Dent, and he's just, I mean, it's symmetrical, man. The whole movie's symmetrical, and Harvey's a big part of that.
oh yeah, absolutely he is, and of course we get another strong performance out of Michael Caine as Alfred Pennyworth. Freaking awesome, especially like the scene of like explaining to Bruce that there's just some people out there that just want to watch the world burn, kind of like
Yes.
describing the Joker too. And I thought that was actually so damn awesome. Commissioner Gordon, he was a lot better in this one than he was in the first one because he was given a lot more to do. And then Lucius Fox was great again. He has to deal with that one employee that figured out Bruce Wayne as Batman, going like, "So you're telling me you're gonna blackmail a guy that goes out into the night and beats people up with his bare hands?" good luck. Yeah, like like it's so freaking great. Like just the dialogue and like just the timing of comedic stuff, just so damn great. And you know what? Screw it. I'm ready to talk about the Joker. Are you ready to talk about the
Yeah, let's
Joker?
throw him in, dude.
Let's freaking
Chaos.
do it. Freaking Heath Ledger as the Joker. When I first saw him on screen, immediately I said, "Yep, this is what I imagine if I saw the Joker in real life, of what he will look like, his mannerisms, his thought process, just the way he looks with the white paint and the lips and the scars. All of it's just perfectly well done. And Heath Ledger just literally went insane, like in real life, to nail this particular role. So Heath Ledger, in a sad way, kind of almost gave his life to this one particular role. So Heath Ledger, rest in peace, my friend. You freaking nailed one of the greatest villain performances in comic book and in cinema history.
Yeah, really one of the best performances of all time. I
Mhm.
think. I mean, there's really. I mean, I think objectively speaking, I mean, it's up there. And what's so impressive about it is you don't recognize Heath Ledger in the role. Like you don't look at
Mm-mm.
that and you don't see Heath Ledger there. You just see the Joker.
You have nothing.
And you see, how crazy he is and how, he's more put together as a person, I think, in this movie than any of the movies before, but he's still more chaotic than the other Jokers. He's more with it, I guess. He's more smart. He's more like, I mean, I guess he's smart in the Jack Nicholson version too, but I don't feel like he's, he knows what he's doing. He's being meticulous, but he doesn't have any backstory either, which is really good. I enjoy that. No
Oh,
fingerprints. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
like,
that's the thing too. Like he changes his backstory all the time because
My father was a drinker. So I had a wife. She was beautiful. Like you.
we never truly know what his backstory was. And I think that's excellent for his particular character.
yeah, nobody knows who he is or where he came from or anything. He's just there, and he's so like, and he's terrifying. He's scary. But he's smart at the same time. Just straight chaos. And what's you mentioned earlier, he doesn't have a motive. He can't be understood. There's nothing you can't understand this version of the character because there's absolutely no motive for him. He's just out there aside from watching the world burn. Like he doesn't care about money. He gets money, he burns the whole thing. Like that's not what
Mhm.
he's in it for. He's just in it for pure chaos. And that's it's fantastic about it. And that's what's scary about it. And that's what makes him a good, opposite to Bruce.
Yeah, oh, dude, most definitely too, and just about how he can just turn a person like Harvey Dent into what he is, like with Two Face, just really shows you how menacing of a character the Joker is, and it's just that interrogation scene between him and Batman.
The good cop, bad cop routine.
Not exactly.
Damn, that is one of the most iconic scenes, like in comic book history.
Yeah, one of the best scenes in cinema history, I think, man.
Yeah,
You're talking
and what
cinematography.
sucked, the first time I saw this movie in theaters, there was a bad thunderstorm and the power went out. That interrogation scene was the scene that got blacked out.
Oh
And so I had to
no.
go see it again immediately, like the next day, so I can just watch that particular scene. Even though I saw this movie in theaters like 3 or 4 times.
I don't want to kill you.
He mentions how people, you'll see the people's true colors, the when shit hits the fan, essentially. I don't remember the exact quote, but and he tries to do that whole thing with the two boats and the two detonators, and like
Mhm.
like he knows for sure that they're going to explode each other, blow each other away, but it doesn't end up happening. So I just love that for his character, just to have that no faith in humanity, and just really, the way he gets proven wrong. I thought it was good. But yeah,
Yeah, and
lovely.
he's also a good magician too.
Ta-da! It's gone.
Oh shit! Like that was a great oh shit moment, and I also love it. Right after that, he goes like, "You like this jacket? Well, you should. You bought it."
You think you could steal from us and just walk away?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's just so great. Again, I could talk about him for hours on end. And then, of course, that freaking last act where it just ties everything in together of why Batman is now being called the Dark Knight. Just because that's an interesting nickname all on its own. That's I feel like in the past hasn't really gotten a real explanation of why he's being called that. But Commissioner Gordon, with his last bit of dialogue, was perfectly described why the Batman has to become the Dark Knight, because he is the hero we need, but not the hero, or that's the hero we deserve, but that's not the hero that we need. Exactly like you said, over like to push to Harvey Dent, because that's what the hero they needed, but not the one that they deserved.
Right. Yeah, man. There's so much good stuff with that. Another thing we kind of touched on a little bit. We talked about the score already. The cinematography in this thing is outstanding. Like once again, man, coming in here with these great, amazing city shots, man. These wide angles of the city, just giving you the scale that you want in the city, and making it feel real and making it feel huge. And then you have Batman very freaking you see the scale of Batman, how small he is and how big the city is, and just getting you thrust into that environment. Absolutely awesome. And you got the hotel, or the hospital explosion rather.
Yes.
Which is fantastic. We spoke on the phone. No, we did not. We spoke about the Joker in the interrogation room scene. That was awesome. And then the scene with Joker and Rachel, when he's telling her about the scars, with this doing the circular thing going around him, just showing how, giving you that chaotic
Great camera work.
Oh, it's fantastic, man. Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. It feels so great.
With the hospital scene too, it's one of the great improv scenes in cinema history too. Because the quick story behind that is Heath Ledger hit the button and it was supposed to explode immediately, but there was apparently a signal jam. Or just something wrong with the button. And instead of just saying cut, they let it keep rolling just to see what Heath Ledger would do. And then eventually it did explode. But like,
and that turned out
I just thought that, it turned out so amazing because again, it fits his character.
It does. Yeah, it absolutely does. And it's just, and that's one of my favorite shots of the freaking movie, him walking out, like, what the hell's going on here? And then it explodes and he just walks off. It's fantastic.
And then, of course, let's just real quick, Christopher Nolan, another great directing performance.
Oh yeah, outstanding, out freaking standing. Everything, all the pieces come together, builds upon his last movie, and improves as a filmmaker in this movie. I think
That's what a sequel is supposed to do.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it puts all the pieces together, and you could see him grow at this point. This is, he did some fantastic movies before Batman Begins, but this was when he's really starting to get into these big scale things that led him to like Inception and Interstellar and things like that.
Yeah, Inception was the one immediately that came after The Dark Knight, actually. And because The Dark Knight was 2008 and Inception was 2009. So yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, you can see those wheels start to grow. That growth of him at this point, full scale, man. I mean, this is everything's hitting on all cylinders in this movie.
Oh, absolutely. And is there anything else you want to talk about? What's awesome about this movie? Because I know we can keep going and more, but I feel like we hit some of the big notes of what's awesome about The Dark Knight.
Yeah, just a couple little things. One thing I wanted to mention is that I think the combat in general is improved in this movie over the last one, like the fighting sequences and stuff like that. They're more brutal and they're a little bit more. I just thought they're shot a little bit better here. And then I also really enjoyed the ending of this movie. Once again, kind of ending on that cliffhanger, saying, "Okay, I want freaking more of this." Like this, for me. In a trilogy, you really want that second act to want you to move forward, to want you to see what's going to happen next. It's kind of going to have a darker ending in the second act, like this has that. And the ending will always be about the rise out of the second, no pun intended, once again, act. But and I think that's what we get here. It leaves you asking questions, wanting more, wanting to see what's going to happen next, and they very successfully did that, I think, in my opinion.
Oh, dude, absolutely. They nailed it. Just kind of like the flow of like what you want in a first act, second act, and third act. Christopher Nolan just knows how to freaking do that, man. And this movie is absolutely no different. And we'll talk about the same thing in The Dark Knight Rises of how it succeeds in that too. So yeah, great point.
Yes.
So anything else?
That's it, man.
All right, guys. So again, I know we're leaving some other stuff out, but we just wanted to tackle the main points of what's awesome about The Dark Knight. So, Brad, let's see if we're about to make history, the first history on here of Good Will Hunting. What would you rate The Dark Knight?
I'll give you a 4 here today.
What?
I'm fucking, dude. No,
Okay.
we're gonna go 5. We're going big. We're going big time, man. Come on,
Okay.
get out. Go home.
Okay,
We're gonna get a
okay.
5-star today.
Okay. 5-star. Actually, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna give it a 4.75.
Fuck off.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry. Why so serious? Just kidding. It is a 5 out of 5. So back to back, first time ever on this channel, back to back. It is a golden reel. It is Mike the Miz. Awesome.
Because I'm the Miz! And I'm awesome!
Woo! The double down once again. It's getting that golden reel as well.
I love gold. The look of it, the taste of it, the smell of it, the texture.
And what a freaking time to be alive back in
Oh.
2008.
Dude, absolutely. You know you're going to be considered one of the greatest trilogies of all time if, like, your first 2 movies are freaking golden reels, like perfection of movies. Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
All right, yeah. So, guys, what do you think is awesome about The Dark Knight? Do you think this is the greatest comic book movie of all time? Or do you actually have some problems with it? Just let us know in that comment section down below, and let's get that discussion rolling.
And if you want us on a good reels, you can do so by finding us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Those links are for you to find down below.
Absolutely. And be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe. And of course, ring that bell, ding, so you all know when the next What's Awesome About video is up and ready.
Right, you are, Ted.
Alrighty, so yeah, I gotta go meet with a Joker, so wish me luck.
Good luck, pal.
Oh, I'm gonna be dead, man.